Think back over the relationships you have experienced and ask yourself gently, how have I been teaching other people to treat me? This is not a question of blame. You are never responsible for another person's cruelty, manipulation, or decision to violate your trust. Their behavior belongs to them. Yet there may be places where you have continued accepting something that hurts you because you were afraid that speaking honestly would cost you the relationship. Today is not about judging the version of you who remained silent. It is about recognizing that you now have the right to choose a higher standard. A pattern of disrespect does not always begin with an obvious betrayal. It may begin with a sarcastic remark that leaves you feeling small. Someone promises to call and repeatedly fails to do so. Your needs are treated as inconvenient, while you are expected to remain available whenever the other person needs comfort. Plans are changed without considering your time. You are interrupted, dismissed, or contacted only when there is something you can provide. Each incident may seem too small to address. You tell yourself, perhaps I am being too sensitive. Maybe they did not mean it. I do not want to create a problem. You laugh along with the joke even though it wounded you. You accept another broken commitment while pretending not to be disappointed. You answer the phone although you are exhausted because saying no feels more dangerous than abandoning your own need for rest. Without intending to, your response may communicate, "This is acceptable. You can continue, and I will absorb the discomfort." The other person may not consciously think these words, yet relationships learn through repetition. If there is never a visible limit, the pattern has little reason to change. What begins as an occasional incident can slowly become the normal way the relationship functions. Silence is not always peace. Sometimes silence is wisdom. Not every comment deserves your energy, and not every disagreement requires a confrontation. But sometimes silence is fear wearing the clothing of harmony. You may fear being called difficult, demanding, selfish, or overly emotional. You may fear that if you express a need, the other person will withdraw. If you once learned that love disappears when you are inconvenient, self-silencing may have become a way of protecting connection. Be compassionate with this part of yourself. It was trying to keep you safe with the tools it understood. Perhaps being agreeable once helped you avoid conflict in a home where conflict felt overwhelming. Perhaps anticipating everyone's needs helped you feel useful and therefore less likely to be rejected. The pattern made sense in the environment where it began. But what protected you in the past may now prevent you from experiencing honest, mutual relationships. The healing truth is this: your standard is not demonstrated only by saying, "I deserve respect." It is also revealed by what you repeatedly allow to remain close to you. This does not mean you can guarantee that everyone will behave well. It means you can stop offering unlimited access to people who continually disregard what matters to you. Ask yourself, where am I calling something peace when it is actually self-abandonment? Let the answer arrive without shame. Awareness gives you an opportunity to make a new choice. You are not punishing anyone. You are simply deciding that your feelings, time, body, and dignity are part of the relationship too. A boundary is not an order that forces another person to behave according to your wishes. It does not say, "You must change so that I can be at peace." A boundary says, "You are responsible for your choices." and I am responsible for deciding how I will respond to them. This distinction returns your power because your well-being is no longer completely dependent on gaining another person's cooperation. You cannot make someone speak respectfully. You can tell them that you will not remain in a conversation where insults are being used. You cannot force someone to honor every plan. You can decide that after repeated last-minute cancellations, you will stop arranging your life around their uncertain availability. You cannot demand emotional honesty. You can choose not to build intimacy with someone who repeatedly hides, manipulates, or refuses accountability. A boundary manages your participation. It clarifies how much time you are willing to offer, which conversations you will enter, what information you will share, and when you will step away. It is concerned with your behavior because your behavior is where your authority lives. The moment a boundary depends entirely on controlling someone else, it becomes a demand rather than a limit. For example, you are not allowed to raise your voice attempts to control what another person does. A boundary might be, if shouting begins, I will pause the conversation and return when we can speak calmly. You must answer my messages immediately is a demand. I need consistent communication in a close relationship, and I will not continue investing in a connection that remains chronically unavailable is a standard you can live by. The other person retains the freedom to choose their behavior. They may understand, negotiate, disagree, or ignore what you have said. You also retain the freedom to adjust their access to your life. Love does not require that every person receive the same degree of closeness. Trust, consistency, and mutual care help determine how much of your inner world someone is invited to share. A boundary without follow-through is only information. You do not need to threaten or create drama, but your action must agree with your words. If you repeatedly announce that you will leave a disrespectful conversation and then remain for another hour of insults, the relationship learns that the stated limit is flexible. Follow-through is not revenge. It is how you make your self-respect visible. Practice saying, I cannot control how you choose to behave, but I can decide what I participate in and what I step away from. This sentence carries no attack. It simply places each person's responsibility where it belongs. Before expressing a boundary, become clear about what you are asking for and why it matters. Begin by naming the qualities you want your close relationships to contain: respect, honesty, consistency, direct communication, emotional safety, and responsibility for words and actions. These words may sound simple, but each person can interpret them differently. A useful standard needs a visible form. What does respect look like to you? Perhaps it means being allowed to finish speaking, having your privacy protected, and not being mocked when you express a feeling. What does consistency mean? Perhaps it means that words and behavior generally agree, plans are honored, and affection is not repeatedly given and withdrawn to create uncertainty. What does honesty mean? It may include addressing problems directly rather than using silence, rumors, or indirect punishment. Now, identify what you are no longer willing to normalize. It may be sarcasm disguised as humor after you have said it hurts. It may be prolonged silence used to punish you, guilt used to force agreement, or repeated disregard for your time. Perhaps it is pressure to share private information, unwanted comments about your body or being expected to solve every crisis while your needs remain unnoticed. Be careful to distinguish a preference from a boundary. A preference says, I like receiving advance notice when plans change. A boundary says, I will not continue organizing my time around plans that are repeatedly changed at the last minute without consideration. A preference expresses what you would enjoy. A boundary identifies what you will do when an important limit is not respected. You do not need a rule for every small imperfection. Healthy relationships include misunderstanding, occasional forgetfulness, and room for repair. A higher standard does not demand perfection. It looks for accountability. The question is not whether someone ever makes a mistake. The question is whether they can listen, acknowledge the impact, and participate in changing the pattern. Write your standards in behavioral language. Instead of only writing, I want to be valued, write, I want relationships in which my time is considered, my no is respected, and important concerns can be discussed without ridicule. Instead of, I want honesty, write, I expect people close to me to address concerns directly and tell the truth even when it is uncomfortable. Clarity helps you recognize compatibility before resentment has accumulated. Then ask yourself whether you are willing to offer the same qualities you request. Can you communicate directly rather than expecting others to guess? Can you take responsibility when your behavior causes harm? Can you respect another person's no without treating it as rejection? Standards become powerful when they describe the kind of relationship you are also prepared to help create. Place your hand over your heart and say, my needs are not an inconvenience. My limits are not evidence that I am difficult. I am willing to create relationships in which honesty and kindness can exist together. You do not need to deliver every boundary today. Begin with one place where greater clarity would bring greater peace. Your higher standard is not a wall against love. It is a way of recognizing which relationships are capable of carrying love with care. You are not asking everyone to approve of your limits. You are deciding that belonging will no longer require you to disappear. Once you have become clear about the standard you want to live by, the next loving step is to give that standard a voice. Clarity kept only inside. You cannot always change what is happening between you and another person. You may know that a behavior hurts, yet if you never communicate it, the other person may not understand its impact. What feels obvious to you may never have been spoken aloud. A healthy boundary begins internally, but it becomes usable through honest communication. Do not wait until months of disappointment have hardened into resentment. When concerns remain unspoken, you may begin collecting evidence against the other person. Every small mistake becomes connected to all the earlier moments you never addressed. Then, when you finally speak, the conversation may carry the weight of 10 different incidents at once. The other person hears anger about today while you are expressing pain accumulated over a much longer period. Speaking earlier does not guarantee that the other person will respond well, but it gives the relationship an honest opportunity to change. It also protects you from building an entire story around assumptions. Perhaps they did not realize that the joke embarrassed you. Perhaps they interpreted your silence as agreement. Perhaps they were repeating a habit that had never been challenged. Clear communication allows you to discover whether the issue comes from misunderstanding, carelessness, or a deeper unwillingness to respect you. When you speak, describe the behavior rather than attacking the person's character. "You are selfish" invites the other person to defend their identity. When our plans are changed repeatedly without notice, "I feel that my time is not being considered" identifies something specific that can be understood and changed. You are not pretending that the behavior has no impact. You are making the impact easier to hear. A simple structure can help you remain grounded. When this happens, I feel this, I need this, and if the pattern continues, I will take this action. For example, you might say, "When jokes are made about my appearance, I feel uncomfortable and exposed. I need those comments to stop. If they continue, I will leave the conversation." Or you may say, "When you raise your voice and insult me, I no longer feel able to have a constructive discussion. I am willing to continue when we can speak respectfully. If the insults continue, I will end the call and return to the subject later." Your tone does not have to be harsh for your message to be clear. You do not need a long speech, a perfect explanation, or a list of reasons proving that your need is legitimate. A short sentence spoken calmly can carry great strength. "I am not comfortable with that. Please do not speak to me that way. I am not available for this. If the plan changes again at the last minute, I will not be able to participate." You may feel nervous as you say these words. Your voice may tremble. This does not mean the boundary is wrong. Sometimes the body shakes when you do something new, especially if silence once helped you feel safe. Courage is not always a steady voice. Sometimes courage is speaking the truth gently while a frightened part of you is still learning that truth can be survived. After communicating the boundary, resist the urge to fill every moment of silence with further explanation. Let the words stand. You are allowed to give the other person time to process what you have said. You are also allowed to observe what happens next. Their response will provide information that no amount of private analysis could give you. A person capable of building a healthy relationship may not respond perfectly at first. They may feel surprised, embarrassed, or even defensive for a moment. The important question is whether they can return to curiosity and responsibility. Can they listen without mocking you? Can they acknowledge the effect of their behavior even if their intention was different? Can they make a sincere effort to adjust after realizing that something hurts you? A healthy response might sound like, "I did not realize that affected you that way, but I hear you." It may include a question. What would help us handle this differently? Most importantly, the words are followed by an observable change. The person may still make an occasional mistake, but there is a movement toward greater care. Repair does not require perfection. It requires willingness, accountability, and repeated effort. Someone who does not respect your boundary may respond very differently. They may call you too sensitive, dramatic, selfish, or difficult. They may insist that you cause their behavior. They may bring up your past mistakes so that the focus moves away from what you have raised. They may use guilt. "After everything I have done for you, how can you treat me this way?" Or they may agree beautifully in the moment and then continue the same behavior without meaningful change. Do not mistake their discomfort for proof that you have done something wrong. People who benefited from your lack of limits may not celebrate your new clarity. Your boundary changes an arrangement that was convenient for them. Their reaction tells you something about their capacity to participate in a relationship where your needs also matter. This is why observing patterns is more reliable than listening only to promises. An apology can be meaningful, but an apology without changed behavior gradually loses its meaning. I understand is valuable when understanding becomes visible through new choices. Do not judge the relationship by the most beautiful moment of remorse. Notice what happens when the same situation returns. There is also an important difference between someone who does not yet understand and someone who does not want to respect you. A person who is confused may ask sincere questions, remember what you explained, and make progress. A person who is resisting your right to have a limit may keep demanding more explanations because they hope you will eventually become exhausted and surrender. Repeating yourself endlessly does not always create understanding. Sometimes it only teaches the other person that your no can be negotiated until it becomes a yes. You can say, I have explained what I need. You do not have to agree with my decision, but I am not going to argue for my right to make it. This is not coldness. It is the recognition that clarity has already been offered. You cannot use better wording to create respect inside someone who is committed to dismissing you. And now comes the part that gives a boundary its true form: action. If you say that you will end a conversation when insults begin, but remain for another hour of arguing, your message becomes divided. Your words say one thing, while your behavior says another. This confusion weakens your trust in yourself as much as it weakens the boundary. Follow-through can be quiet and simple. End the call. Leave the room. Decline another responsibility that was never yours to carry. Stop answering messages designed only to pull you back into an unproductive argument. Reduce the amount of personal information you share with someone who uses it carelessly. Adjust the frequency of contact when repeated closeness creates repeated harm. You do not need to punish, threaten, or announce every consequence dramatically. A boundary is not meant to make someone suffer so that they finally understand your pain. It is meant to protect your time, energy, peace, and dignity. You are not saying, I will hurt you because you hurt me. You are saying, I will no longer remain available for this pattern. Consistency gives your words weight. If you enforce the boundary only when you feel strong and abandon it whenever the other person becomes upset, the old arrangement remains in control. This does not mean you must respond perfectly every time. You are learning. If you fall back into an old pattern, do not shame yourself. Notice what happened, renew your decision, and try again at the next opportunity. Every time you follow through, you teach the people around you that your words matter. More importantly, you teach yourself that your well-being is worthy of protection. You begin to experience a new kind of inner safety, not the safety of controlling everyone, but the safety of knowing that you will take care of yourself when something is not right. As this self-trust grows, you may need to reconsider how much access different people have to your life. Not everyone belongs at the same level of closeness. Some people have shown that they can hold your vulnerability with care. Some may be kind companions for ordinary moments, but not safe recipients of your deepest fears. Others may need to remain at a polite distance because repeated intimacy with them costs too much of your peace. This is not a ranking of human worth. Every person has value, but not every person has developed the capacity to participate responsibly in your inner life. Someone can be worthy as a human being and still be unsuitable as a close friend, partner, advisor, or confidant. Compassion does not require unlimited access. You may love someone and still decide that they cannot continue entering every room of your emotional home. You may wish them well without returning to the same degree of closeness. You may understand their wounds without offering your life as the place where those wounds are repeatedly acted out. Love can exist with distance. Ask yourself 3 honest questions. Does this person respect my no? Or do they treat it as the beginning of a negotiation? Can I be myself around them? Or must I continuously edit my feelings, needs, and personality? Does this relationship generally create more steadiness in my life? Or does it keep me in a state of contraction and uncertainty? No relationship is peaceful every moment, but a healthy one should not require you to remain chronically braced against the next injury. Closeness must be built through behavior. A long history does not automatically make a relationship safe today. An apology does not instantly restore the level of access that was lost. Promises may begin repair, but consistency completes it. Trust is not something you owe because another person wants it back. It is something that can be rebuilt through honesty, patience, and demonstrated change. You may understand all of this clearly and still find it very difficult to leave or reduce contact. Please do not use that difficulty as another reason to criticize yourself. Your fear may not belong only to the present situation. A younger part of you may still believe that disagreement causes love to disappear. Perhaps, as a child, you learned to remain quiet when adults were angry. You became agreeable, helpful, or invisible because these strategies reduced conflict. You learned to notice everyone else's mood before noticing your own. You anticipated needs so that no one would become disappointed with you. You avoided being a burden because you believed your belonging depended on being easy to care for. These strategies may have helped you survive emotionally. They were intelligent adaptations to circumstances in which you had limited power. The child you were could not always leave the room, choose a new family, or explain complex emotional needs. Silence, obedience, and hyper-awareness may have been the best protections available. But you are not required to use a childhood protection strategy in every adult relationship. What once reduced danger may now keep you connected to people who depend on your silence. You do not need to hate the old pattern. You can thank it for trying to protect you and gently tell it that its work has changed. Listen for the fear beneath your hesitation. It may say, "If I say no, they will leave. If I disappoint them, I will no longer be loved. If I speak, everything will become worse." Do not argue with this frightened part as though it were foolish. Meet it as a loving adult. Place your hand over your heart and say, "I am no longer the powerless child I once was. I have choices now. I can step away, seek support, and protect myself. I do not need to trade my dignity for love." Let the words be slow. Your inner child may not trust them immediately. Trust grows as you repeatedly prove them through action. You may say, "Do not be afraid. The adult is here now. I will listen when something feels wrong. I will not shame you for wanting love. And I will not keep placing you in situations where you must beg for basic kindness." This is how the past begins to loosen its grip, not because you erase what happened, but because the present now contains a protector who did not exist then. Each time you say no to what is unsuitable, you give that younger part new evidence. Each time you leave a degrading conversation, ask for help, or honor your exhaustion, you demonstrate that it no longer has to earn safety through self-erasure. The healing is not only in what you say during reflection. It is in the choices you make afterward. Remember, boundaries do not require you to become cold. You can remain tender and still refuse a request. You can care about someone's feelings without accepting responsibility for managing every emotion they experience. You can understand that your boundary disappoints them while continuing to honor it. Their disappointment is not automatically an emergency. You can forgive without restoring the previous level of access. Forgiveness may release your heart from carrying constant anger, but reconciliation requires safety, responsibility, and mutual participation. You are allowed to let go internally while maintaining an external distance. Peace does not always mean returning. A boundary is where love and self-respect meet. Without limits, love can become endless self-sacrifice. Without love, boundaries can become walls designed to keep every human being away. The goal is not to close your heart. It is to create a doorway through which respect, honesty, and mutual care may enter. The right people will not require you to betray yourself in order to keep them comfortable. They may not enjoy every limit you set. They may feel disappointed when you are unavailable or when your choice differs from theirs. Yet they can respect that you are a separate person with your own time, body, preferences, and responsibilities. They do not humiliate you for telling the truth. They do not use withdrawal as punishment whenever you have a need. They do not require you to become smaller so that they can avoid examining their own behavior. A healthy person can say, "I do not like this decision, but I respect your right to make it." Healthy relationships also know how to repair. Both people can admit mistakes without making admission feel like defeat. They can listen to impact, adjust behavior, and rebuild trust gradually. Conflict does not automatically become proof that love has ended. It becomes an opportunity to create clearer understanding. Your boundaries will not drive away people who are genuinely capable of loving you with respect. They may reveal that certain connections were sustainable only while you remained silent. But this revelation protects you from spending more years calling self-abandonment love. A boundary does not destroy healthy intimacy. It creates the honesty in which healthy intimacy can deepen. Now choose one pattern in your life and write it down exactly as it occurs. Do not minimize it and do not exaggerate it. You might write, "This person repeatedly cancels plans after I have arranged my schedule." Or, "When I express a concern, they make jokes and change the subject." Precision keeps you connected to reality. Next, define your new standard. Complete these sentences. From today, I am willing to, and I am no longer willing to. You might say, from today, I am willing to communicate my needs directly. I am no longer willing to remain in conversations where I am insulted. Prepare one short sentence you can actually use. Let it be clear and free from unnecessary apology. I want to continue this conversation, but I will not continue while I am being called names. I am unable to take on this responsibility. Please do not comment on my body. If the plan changes at the last minute again, I will make other arrangements. Then choose the action you will take if the limit continues to be crossed. You may end the conversation, decline the invitation, reduce contact, remove yourself from the space, or seek support. If the situation involves threats, coercion, violence, stalking, or fear for your safety, prioritize a safety plan and appropriate professional or community support rather than relying on a direct confrontation. Finally, keep your word to yourself. You do not need to execute it with anger. Act quietly, consistently, and with dignity. This is the moment when a private standard becomes a lived reality. This is the moment when you stop asking another person to decide whether your boundary matters. The higher standard begins when you lovingly decide that no relationship is worth keeping at the cost of abandoning yourself. Let me ask you something beautiful, dear one. What if healing begins not when you finally fix yourself, but when you stop treating your heart as something broken? What if the part of you that is anxious, tired, sleepless, dizzy, heavy in the chest, or afraid is not your enemy? What if it is only a tender part of your body asking, "Can I feel safe now?" Sometimes, when the heart is hurting, we immediately want to do something. We want to repair the feeling, analyze it, control it, explain it, distract from it, or make it disappear as quickly as possible. We say, "Why am I still feeling this? How do I stop this? When will I be normal again?" And because we are so desperate to become calm, the body receives a very different message. It hears, "This feeling is dangerous. This feeling must disappear. Something is wrong with me." And when the body believes it is in danger, it does not relax. It tightens, it protects, it watches more closely. It becomes more sensitive to every sensation. So the more you try to force healing, the more the nervous system may grip. The more you demand peace, the farther peace may feel. Not because you are failing, but because the body cannot be bullied into safety. It can only be loved into safety. This is the paradox of healing. Sometimes healing begins when you stop trying so hard to heal, not because you are giving up, not because you are abandoning yourself, not because you are lying down in hopelessness, but because you are finally saying, "I will no longer fight what is happening inside me. I will no longer force my heart to heal according to the schedule of my mind. I will stop making my anxiety, my sleeplessness, my dizziness, my tight chest, and my trembling body into enemies." Say softly, "I stop forcing my healing. I allow my heart to feel safe enough to heal." Let those words be gentle. Let them move through the body like warm water. You are not commanding the heart. You are inviting it. You are no longer standing over yourself with pressure. You are sitting beside yourself with compassion. Many people become tense because they are not only feeling the original symptom, they are also afraid of the symptom. Anxiety comes, and then they become anxious about being anxious. Sleep does not come, and then they fear another night without sleep. The body feels dizzy, and they begin checking every sensation. The heart beats quickly, and then panic rises because the heart is beating quickly. Now the problem is not only the first feeling. The problem becomes fear of the feeling. This is very common, my dear. And it does not mean you are weak. It means your nervous system has learned to watch for danger. It has learned, perhaps from old pain, that discomfort might mean something is terribly wrong. So each time the feeling appears and you respond with panic, the body learns, yes, this is dangerous. But each time you can stay a little softer, breathe a little slower, observe without running, and say, "I am still safe," the body begins to learn again. Healing is not always forcing the symptom to vanish. Healing is teaching the body that uncomfortable sensations are not always a life-threatening danger. Healing is saying, "This is unpleasant, but I can be with it. This is uncomfortable, but it is moving through. I do not need to add fear on top of fear." Little by little, the body begins to trust your presence. Your body is not betraying you. It is trying to protect you in the only way it knows. It may be overprotecting. It may be reacting to old memories, old stress, old exhaustion, old grief. But still, the body is not your enemy. So speak to it with love, not anger. Do not say, "Why are you doing this to me?" Say, "Thank you for trying to protect me. I am listening now. We do not have to fight." This is where the practice of sitting with it becomes so powerful. Sitting with a feeling does not mean you like it. It does not mean you want it to stay. It does not mean you allow it to control your whole life. It means you stop running long enough for the body to discover, "I can feel this and still be here. I can feel this and still breathe. I can feel this and still be safe enough in this moment." When an uncomfortable feeling comes, try not to push it away immediately. Do not make it bigger by turning it into a disaster. Do not rush to analyze it just to escape it. Simply pause. Place a hand on your heart, your belly, or wherever the body feels tense. Ask gently, "What am I feeling?" Maybe it is anxiety. Maybe it is sadness. Maybe it is fear. Maybe it is loneliness. Maybe it is exhaustion. Name it without shame. Then ask, "Where is it in my body? Is it in the chest, the throat, the stomach, the shoulders, the head? Does it feel tight, heavy, hot, cold, shaky, or numb?" You are not looking for a perfect answer. You are only bringing loving attention to the place that has been asking for it. Then ask, "What does this feeling want me to know?" Perhaps it says, "I need rest." Perhaps it says, "I need safety." Perhaps it says, "I need to be heard." Perhaps it says, "I need protection." Perhaps it says, "I have been trying too hard for too long." Let the answer come simply. Sometimes the body speaks in words, sometimes in images, sometimes only in a small softening. Say slowly, "I can sit with this feeling. I do not have to run. I am safe enough to let this pass through me." These words are not magic in the dramatic sense. They are training. They are a new relationship. You are teaching your nervous system, "I will not abandon you when discomfort appears. I will not panic and make you more afraid. I will stay. I will breathe. I will listen." And if the feeling is too strong, please be gentle. Sitting with it does not mean overwhelming yourself. You can open your eyes, look around the room, feel your feet, drink water, call someone safe. Seek professional support when your body or mind needs it. Loving yourself includes knowing when to receive help. For now, let this be enough. You do not need to force your healing today. You do not need to make every symptom disappear before you are allowed to be kind to yourself. You can stop fighting. You can sit beside the feeling. You can let the body learn safety one breath at a time. And in the next part, we will go deeper. We will look at the thoughts beneath the feeling, the hidden beliefs, the old fears, and the quiet messages your heart has been trying to show you. Because when you stop running from the sensation, you can finally hear the deeper truth beneath it. You don't need to get it right. You only need to begin. Begin with one breath. Begin with one small moment of honesty. Begin with the willingness to stop fighting yourself for a little while. Healing does not ask you to become perfect before you are allowed to be loved. Healing does not ask you to understand everything before you are allowed to rest. Healing begins in the simple, tender place where you say, I am here. I am tired of running. I am willing to sit beside myself now. So often, when the body speaks, we immediately want to silence it. Anxiety rises, and we ask, how do I make this go away? Sleep does not come, and we ask, how do I force myself to sleep tonight? The chest feels heavy, and we ask, how do I stop this feeling? The heart feels raw, and we ask, how do I become strong again quickly? But sometimes the deeper question is not, how do I get rid of this? Sometimes the deeper question is, what is this trying to tell me? A symptom can be a message. Anxiety may be saying, I am overloaded. Sleeplessness may be saying, I do not feel safe enough to let go. A heavy chest may be saying, there is something I have not allowed myself to feel. Exhaustion may be saying, I have tried to be strong for too long. The body may not be punishing you. It may be communicating in the only language it has left. When you keep ignoring the quiet messages, the body may speak louder, not because it hates you, not because it wants to ruin your life, but because something within you is asking to be seen. A need has been neglected. A truth has been swallowed. A boundary has been crossed too many times. A grief has been delayed. A fear has been dismissed. A part of you has been trying to get your attention. So instead of only asking, how do I make this stop? Ask more lovingly, what need am I ignoring? Where am I forcing myself? What do I need to say no to? Where do I need support? What am I trying to prove that my heart is too tired to keep proving? These questions are not meant to blame you. They are meant to bring you back into conversation with yourself. Maybe you have been forcing yourself to be productive when your body is asking for rest. Maybe you have been forcing yourself to be available when your heart is asking for a boundary. Maybe you have been forcing yourself to be cheerful when your grief is asking for tears. Maybe you have been forcing yourself to understand everyone else while no one is holding space for you. Maybe you have been trying to prove that you are strong, worthy, needed, lovable, or in control, while your heart is whispering, please, I am tired. When the real need is finally seen, the symptom no longer has to shout as loudly. When the need for rest is honored, exhaustion does not have to scream. When the need for truth is honored, the throat does not have to tighten so much. When the need for safety is honored, the nervous system begins to soften. When the need for support is honored, the body does not have to carry everything alone. This is why we do nothing for a moment. Not because nothing matters, not because we are helpless, but because the old habit of forcing, fixing, controlling, and escaping has become too loud. We stop so we can listen. We stop so the deeper wisdom can rise. We stop so the heart can finally say what it has been trying to say beneath all the noise. And as you listen, remember this. You do not need to believe every thought that passes through your mind. A thought appears, and we often treat it as a command. A scary image appears, and we treat it as a prophecy. A sentence says, I will never be okay, and suddenly the whole body believes it is standing before a life sentence. But a thought is not always truth. A thought is often only a cloud crossing the sky of awareness. You are the sky, dear one. The thoughts are the clouds. Some are dark, some are heavy, some move quickly, some linger, but still, you remain. The sky does not chase every cloud. It does not argue with every cloud. It does not say, this cloud is me. It allows the clouds to pass through. You can learn to do the same with thought. When the thought comes, I will not sleep tonight, you can say, I am having the thought that I will not sleep tonight. That little phrase creates space. You are not saying, "This is my destiny." You are saying, "A thought is here. When the thought comes, my body is not safe." You can say, "I am having the thought that my body is not safe." When the thought comes, "This will last forever," you can say, "I am having the thought that this will last forever." This is not denial. This is awareness. You are learning to observe the mind instead of obeying it automatically. You are learning not to follow every thought into the forest of fear. You are learning to let the thought appear, be noticed, and pass in its own time. Say gently, "Thoughts come and go. I remain here. I do not have to follow every thought." Let that become a soft bell in the mind. You do not need to fight the thought. You do not need to prove it wrong for an hour. You do not need to wrestle it into silence. You can simply say, "There is a thought." Then return to the body, return to the breath, return to the room, return to this moment. Your nervous system has its own wisdom. Your body is not a machine that must be controlled every second by the mind. The heart knows how to beat. The lungs know how to breathe. A wound knows how to close and repair. The body is always moving toward balance when it feels safe enough. It has ancient intelligence. It has rhythms older than your fear. It has a deep desire to return to harmony. But too much interference can slow the process. Constantly checking the body can make the body feel watched by fear. Constantly trying to force calm can make the nervous system feel pressured. Constantly using every tool just to escape a feeling can teach the body that the feeling is dangerous. Searching all day for the perfect answer can keep the system in alarm. This is why we must change the purpose of healing tools. Meditation, breath, affirmations, journaling, prayer, walking, rest. These are beautiful when used as support. But if you use them only to force a feeling away, they can become another form of control. The body feels the difference. It knows when you are breathing with love, and it knows when you are breathing with panic that says, "Go away, go away, go away." So instead of saying, "I breathe so my anxiety disappears immediately," say, "I breathe so I can be with myself more gently." Instead of saying, "I journal so I can solve everything now," say, "I journal so I can listen to myself with honesty." Instead of saying, "I meditate so I never feel pain," say, "I meditate so I can create space around what I feel." Instead of saying, "I affirm so I can deny my fear," say, "I affirm so love has a voice inside me too." This small change is powerful. You are no longer using healing to escape yourself. You are using healing to accompany yourself. You are no longer telling the body, "You must stop this now." You are telling the body, "I am here with you while this moves through." And sometimes, when you begin to change this pattern, the symptoms may rise for a while. Please do not panic. When you have spent a long time running from feelings, controlling every sensation, or protecting yourself in old ways, the nervous system may be surprised when you suddenly sit still. It may say, "Are we really safe? Are you sure you are not going to run? Are you sure you are not going to fight? Are you really staying with me?" So the alarm may become louder at first. The body may test the new safety. The mind may say, "This is getting worse." But it does not always mean you are worse. Sometimes it means your system is learning something unfamiliar. It is learning that sensation does not have to become emergency. It is learning that emotion does not have to be buried. It is learning that you can stay. Speak slowly. This is my nervous system learning safety. I do not need to panic about the panic. My body is recalibrating. Let those words be kind and grounded. Panic about panic is often what makes the wave taller. Fear of fear tightens everything. But when you say, "This is my nervous system learning," you give the body a new context. You are not broken. You are retraining. You are recalibrating. You are helping the system learn that you can feel discomfort and remain present. And here, let us be very loving and very wise. If symptoms are strong, new, long-lasting, unusual, or make you concerned about your health, seek appropriate medical or professional support. This is not a failure of spiritual practice. This is self-love. Gentleness does not mean ignoring the body. It means caring for the body fully, including receiving help when help is needed. You can trust healing, and you can also choose wise support. Both can be true. Now let us speak of rebalancing. The body opens when it feels safe. The heart opens when it feels safe. The nervous system opens when it feels safe. You cannot force a flower to bloom by pulling on its petals. If you pull, you damage what you wanted to help. A flower opens when the conditions are right: warmth, light, water, time. Your heart is like that. Your body is like that. Healing is like that. You cannot order the heart to heal. You can create the conditions where healing becomes natural. Less pressure, kinder words, rest without self-attack, slower meals, gentle walks, few tsuzi, less noise, less constant checking, less emotional overload, permission to have an imperfect day, boundaries with what overwhelms you, a little more quiet, a little more truth, a little more patience. These small things may not look dramatic, but they create safety, and safety is the soil where the heart begins to repair. Safety tells the body, you do not have to stay in alarm. Safety tells the mind, you do not have to solve everything now. Safety tells the inner child, you are not alone anymore. Safety tells the heart, you can soften when you are ready. Say gently, my body knows how to return to balance. I create safety, and healing happens naturally. Let this be your new way. You are not forcing the flower. You are tending the environment. You are not demanding that the wound close faster. You are caring for the conditions that allow repair. There are 6 beautiful lessons from the practice of doing nothing. The first lesson is this: rest is not laziness. Sometimes rest is the most mature action you can take when the body is overloaded. The world may praise constant doing, but the nervous system does not heal by being endlessly pushed. There are moments when the wisest thing is to lie down, breathe, close your eyes, cancel what is not necessary, and let the body remember it is allowed to stop. Rest can be responsibility. Rest can be devotion. Rest can be medicine. The second lesson is that not reacting is also a powerful choice. You do not need to answer every message immediately. You do not need to make every decision while emotional. You do not need to fix every relationship the moment discomfort appears. You do not need to explain yourself from panic. Sometimes the most loving action is to pause, to let the wave pass, to wait until your voice is no longer shaking from fear, to respond from clarity instead of urgency. The third lesson is that discomfort is not always danger. A difficult feeling may be energy moving through. A tight chest may be the body asking for breath. Tears may be grief leaving. Trembling may be discharge. Sadness may be love saying goodbye. Fear may be a younger part asking for reassurance. If every discomfort becomes danger, the body stays at war. But when discomfort becomes something you can sit with, the body begins to trust life again. The fourth lesson is that you do not need to control the healing process. You only need to create conditions: safety, gentleness, patience, honesty. The mind loves to ask, when will I be done? How many days? What exact step? What if it comes back? But healing is not always linear. It is organic. It moves like seasons. It opens, rests, rises, releases, integrates. Your job is not to micromanage the whole process. Your job is to show up with love. The fifth lesson is that the heart heals when it is not rushed. Forcing yourself to forget, forcing yourself to be cheerful, forcing yourself to be okay too soon may create a surface scab while the wound still aches underneath. True healing may need tears. It may need silence. It may need time. It may need honest grieving. It may need a day when you do less. It may need you to stop saying, I should be over this, and begin saying, I am allowed to heal at the pace of my heart. The sixth lesson is that love is the strongest healing environment. Not self-hatred, not shame, not constant correction, not anger at the body, not blame. Love, patient love, warm love, honest love. Love that says, I will stay. Love that says, I will listen. Love that says, even here, you are not too much. Love is not weak. Love is the atmosphere in which the nervous system can finally put down its weapons. Now, dear one, let us enter a simple 12-minute do-nothing healing practice. You can use this whenever the heart feels tight, the mind feels loud, or the body feels overwhelmed. For minutes 1 and 2, stop, sit or lie down. Do not try to fix anything. Do not try to become peaceful immediately. Let the body be where it is. Let the breath be how it is. Let the heart arrive slowly. Say, I am allowed to stop. Repeat it softly. I am allowed to stop. I am allowed to stop. Perhaps no one told you this enough. Perhaps you have believed you must earn rest. But right now, you are allowed to stop. For minutes 3 and 4, feel the body. Ask, where am I tense? What place in me needs to breathe? What place in me needs to be heard? Maybe the shoulders are tight. Maybe the chest is heavy. Maybe the stomach is clenched. Maybe the jaw is holding words. Do not judge it. Just notice. Let your awareness become warm, not sharp. For minutes 5 and 6, allow thoughts to pass. Say, these are thoughts. They can pass like clouds. I do not have to follow them. If the mind says, this will never end, say, a thought is here. If the mind says, something is wrong with me, say, a fear story is here. If the mind says, I must solve everything now, say, urgency is here. Watch the clouds. Do not become the clouds. For minutes 7 and 8, sit with the feeling. Do not push it away. Do not make it bigger. Say, you can be here. I will not fight you. This is such a healing sentence. You are not inviting suffering to stay forever. You are telling the feeling it does not have to battle you to be heard. You are creating a safe room inside yourself. For minutes 9 and 10, ask the real need. What do I need? Do I need rest? Do I need to cry? Do I need to tell the truth? Do I need a boundary? Do I need comfort? Do I need to be held? Do I need to stop pretending? Let the answer be simple. The heart often speaks quietly when it finally feels safe. For minutes 11 and 12, end with safety. Say, I do not force healing. I create safety. My heart knows how to heal. Place one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Breathe. You are not commanding the heart. You are reassuring it. You are not pushing the body. You are supporting it. You are not trying to escape yourself. You are coming home. My dear, doing nothing is not empty. It is full of trust. It is full of listening. It is full of presence. It is the moment when you stop treating your heart like a problem and begin treating it like something sacred. It is the moment when you stop demanding that the body prove it is well and begin giving it the safety it needs to remember balance. You do not need to get it right. You only need to begin. Begin by stopping. Begin by breathing. Begin by speaking kindly to the body. Begin by letting thoughts pass like clouds. Begin by asking what you truly need. Begin by creating the conditions where healing can happen naturally. You are allowed to stop forcing. You are allowed to stop fighting. You are allowed to stop making every feeling an emergency. You are allowed to rest without earning it. You are allowed to heal without rushing. You are allowed to be human. Say it once more. I do not force healing. I create safety. My heart knows how to heal. And as you carry these words with you, remember this. Life within you is always trying to return to balance. Your body is listening. Your heart is listening. Your nervous system is learning. Give yourself love, time, patience, and safety. Let the flower open when it is ready. Let the heart soften when it feels safe. Let healing happen, not through pressure, but through the quiet miracle of staying with yourself in love. Hello, my dear. Come a little closer to yourself for the next few moments. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breath become a little slower. You do not have to solve your whole life right now. You do not have to defeat every worried thought by force. You do not have to become perfectly positive before you are allowed to feel peace. Today, we are going to do something much gentler. We are going to sit beside the worry, listen to what it is trying to say, comfort the frightened part within, and slowly return to peace. Worry does not mean you are weak. Worry usually means a part of you is trying to feel safe. The mind may be imagining every possible thing that could go wrong because it thinks this will protect you. It says, if I think ahead, I will be ready. If I prepare for the worst, I will not be surprised. If I stay alert, maybe I can prevent pain. Can you feel the tenderness underneath that? Worry is not always wisdom, but it is often a frightened attempt to protect you. So please do not begin by attacking yourself for being worried. Do not say, why am I like this? Do not say, I should be over this by now. Do not say, I am failing because I still feel afraid. A worried mind does not calm down through criticism. A worried mind softens when it feels heard, held, and gently guided back to what is real. These 30 minutes are not here to force you into happiness. You do not need to deny the problem. You do not need to pretend everything is fine when something truly needs attention. You do not need to push fear away and wear a peaceful face. This practice is more honest than that. It says, something in me is worried, and I can meet that worry with love. I can return to my breath. I can feel my body. I can look at the truth. I can choose one right action. Let this sentence be your anchor. I do not fight my worry. I listen, I comfort, and I return to peace. Feel how different that is. You are no longer making worry the enemy. You are becoming the loving presence that can understand it. You are saying, I hear you, but you do not have to lead my whole life. And first, dear one, let us understand something important. Not all worry is the same. Some worry carries useful information. Some worry is only the mind rehearsing fear. And some worry comes from an old identity that is asking to be healed. When you know the difference, the worry begins to become smaller. It is no longer one dark cloud covering everything. It becomes something you can work with. There is practical worry. This kind of worry is connected to something real that needs action. Maybe you forgot to pay a bill. Maybe there is an email you need to send. Maybe you need to make an appointment, prepare a document, answer a message, or organize something important. This kind of worry is not here to torture you. It is trying to point toward a task. The healing is to turn the worry into one clear step. Instead of letting the mind circle the same concern all day, ask, what is one practical step I can take? Not 10 steps, not the whole solution, one step. Write the email subject line. Set the reminder. Put the bill on the table. Call the office. Open the document. Write down what is needed. Practical worry becomes lighter when it is translated into action. The mind relaxes when it knows, we have heard the message and we are doing one thing. Then there is rehearsal worry. This is when the mind begins making movies of disaster. What if I fail? What if they leave? What if everything falls apart? What if I cannot handle it? What if this never gets better? This kind of worry may feel like preparation, but often it only makes the body live inside a future that has not happened. You are not solving. You are rehearsing pain. You are making the nervous system respond to an imaginary emergency. When this kind of worry appears, speak gently to yourself. This is a fear story, not a prophecy. Let that sentence interrupt the movie. A fear story may be loud, but loud does not mean true. A fearful image may feel convincing, but feeling convincing does not make it destiny. You can come back to the room, come back to the breath, come back to the body, come back to this one moment where you are still here, still breathing, still able to choose. And then there is identity worry, the deepest kind. This worry is not only about an event, it is about who you believe you are. It says, I always have bad luck. I am not good enough. I ruin everything. No one stays with me. Life never works for me. This is not just worry anymore. This is an old identity speaking. It may have been formed from pain, rejection, disappointment, criticism, or years of feeling unsafe. And because it feels old, it may sound very true. But an old identity is not your soul. It is a sentence you learned. And any sentence learned in fear can be gently unlearned in love. When this deeper worry appears, do not argue harshly with it. Place a hand on your heart and say, I am willing to release the old identity of fear. You do not have to release it all in one moment. Willingness is enough to begin. You are opening a door. Now, whenever worry appears, use 3 gentle questions. The first question is this something I need to do, or is this only an imagined story? If there is something to do, write 1 practical step. If it is only a frightening movie, return to the breath, feel the feet, look around the room. Say, this is a fear story, not a prophecy. The second question is this worry speaking about a situation, or is it speaking about my identity? There is a big difference between I need to handle this bill and I am a failure. One is a task, the other is a wound. Keep them separate. A situation can be handled. An identity wound needs love. Do not let one problem become a cruel definition of your whole self. The third question is, what is within my power right now? Maybe 1 call, 1 note, 1 apology, 1 rest, 1 small decision, 1 boundary, 1 glass of water, 1 truthful sentence, 1 gentle word to yourself. Peace often returns when you stop trying to control the whole future and choose 1 loving action in the present. So today, my dear, you do not have to defeat worry with force. You can sit beside it. You can listen for what kind of worry it is. You can comfort the frightened part. You can separate truth from fear's story. You can take 1 practical step. You can release the old identity of fear, little by little. For now, breathe and repeat, I do not fight my worry. I listen, I comfort, and I return to peace. What is mine to do, I do gently. What is only a fear story, I release. Who I am is larger than this worry. And in the next part, we will go deeper into the 30-minute practice itself, how to calm the body, clear the mind, soften the fear, and return to the quiet place inside you where life can guide you again. Let me ask you 1 deep question, dear one. What if your worry is not proof that you are responsible, but proof that a tender part of you has forgotten how safe it is to breathe? Sit with that gently. Do not answer too quickly. Let it move through the heart. So many people have been taught to believe that worrying means caring. If they worry enough, they think they are being prepared. If they imagine every possible danger, they think they are being wise. If they keep the body tense, they think they are staying alert. But sometimes worry is not wisdom. Sometimes worry is an old habit of fear trying to protect you in a way that no longer brings peace. You do not have to worry in order to prove that you care. You can care deeply and still be calm. You can be responsible without punishing yourself with endless mental rehearsals. You can take action without allowing fear to sit in the driver's seat. This is the new path we are practicing today. Not a path of denial, not a path of pretending everything is perfect, not a path of forcing yourself to smile when something truly needs attention. This is a path of loving honesty. You are going to look at the worry, understand what kind of message it carries, comfort the part of you that feels unsafe, and choose 1 clear step instead of living inside a storm of imagined pain. Before we plant new peaceful thoughts, we must do a little mental house cleaning. Think of the mind as a room. If the room is filled with old papers, broken furniture, dust, sharp little objects on the floor, and boxes from years ago, you may bring in flowers, but the flowers will not have a clean place to rest. In the same way, affirmations may not go very deep if the mind is full of self-attack underneath. If one part of you says, "I am safe," while another part keeps whispering, "I am foolish, I always fail, there is no way out, I do not deserve peace," the peaceful sentence cannot easily land. It is not because affirmations do not work. It is because the inner room needs tenderness, clearing, and truth. Mental house cleaning means noticing the cruel sentence before you replace it. It means hearing the self-criticism instead of letting it run your life from the shadows. It means recognizing the old belief. It means writing down what is actually frightening you. It means forgiving yourself for having lived in survival mode for so long. You are not bad because your mind became noisy. You are not weak because fear learned to speak loudly. You are not failing because worry returns. Perhaps worry was once the only way you knew how to feel prepared. Perhaps worry became a substitute for support. Perhaps worry became the way your nervous system tried to keep you from being surprised by pain. So instead of attacking the worried mind, become curious about it. What is it saying? What sentence keeps repeating? Is it saying, "Everything will fall apart"? Is it saying, "I am not capable"? Is it saying, "No one will help me"? Is it saying, "I will be left behind"? Is it saying, "I should have done better"? Write it down. Bring it into the light. A thought that stays hidden often feels like the whole truth. A thought written down becomes something you can look at, and once you can look at it, you are no longer completely inside it. This is how the clearing begins. You notice the trash without calling yourself trash. You notice the fear without calling yourself fear. You notice the old identity without agreeing to live inside it forever. You may say, "Ah, this is the thought that has been hurting me. This is the sentence my mind repeats when it feels unsafe." And then, with great kindness, you choose not to keep feeding it. After the room has even a little more space, you may plant the new flowers, softly, slowly, not as a performance, not as something you must force yourself to believe instantly. You might say, "I am safe to think a new thought. I am safe to choose peace. I am safe to begin again." Let those sentences be fresh flowers in the room of your mind. They do not need to erase everything in one moment. They only need to bring a new fragrance, a new possibility, a new direction. The old thought says, "There is no way out." The new flower says, "A path may open one step at a time." The old thought says, "I am not enough." The new flower says, "I am learning and I am willing." The old thought says, "I will not survive this." The new flower says, "I have survived many things and I can meet this moment with love." And there is another beautiful practice I want to place gently in your heart. I call it forgiving the future. Worry often becomes a form of punishment before anything has even happened. You imagine yourself failing, and then you feel shame before failure has occurred. You imagine being rejected, and then your heart hurts before anyone has said no. You imagine losing something, and then your body grieves before anything has been lost. You imagine a hard conversation, and your nervous system lives through it again and again before the real moment arrives. My dear, This is such a heavy way to live. You are suffering many imagined futures before you have even reached them. What if you did not need to punish your future self in advance? What if you could decide today that whatever happens tomorrow, you will not abandon yourself? Even if tomorrow you are awkward, you will still be worthy of love. Even if a plan is imperfect, you can learn. Even if something unexpected happens, you can pause, breathe, ask for help, adjust, and take the next step. Even if you do not handle everything exactly as you hoped, you are still a human being deserving of compassion. You do not need to rehearse shame before the day arrives. Place a hand on your heart and say, "I forgive my future self for being human. Whatever comes, I will meet myself with love." Let that sentence become a deep exhale. You are making a promise to the self you have not yet met. You are telling tomorrow's version of you, "I will not attack you for being imperfect. I will not shame you for learning. I will not use one hard moment as proof that you are unworthy. I will meet you with love." This is not passive. This is not careless. This is the inner safety from which wise action can come. When you forgive the future, worry begins to soften. It no longer has to protect you from every possible mistake, because it knows love will be there if a mistake happens. It no longer has to prevent every disappointment, because it knows you will not turn disappointment into self-hatred. It no longer has to control every detail, because it knows you have your own friendship to return to. This is such a powerful shift. You become a safe person for yourself, not only when everything goes well, but also when life is uncertain. Now let us move into the 30-minute peace practice. You may do this in real time, or you may let it become a map you use whenever worry becomes too loud. This practice is not here to make you perfect. It is here to help you return. Peace is not always a permanent state. Sometimes peace is a doorway you walk through many times a day. Sometimes peace is one breath, then another. Sometimes peace is simply the moment you stop obeying every fear story and come back to what is real. For the first 5 minutes, bring the body out of alarm. This comes before thinking. This comes before solving. This comes before making big decisions. When the body is in alarm, the mind often cannot see clearly. So begin with the body. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Feel the warmth of your hands. Let the body know you are here. Inhale slowly. Exhale longer than you inhale. Let the exhale be a message. We do not have to run in this exact moment. Drop the shoulders. Let the jaw soften. Let the forehead smooth. Let the tongue relax. Feel the point where your body touches the chair, the bed, or the floor. Let yourself be supported by something simple. Say gently, "In this moment, I am safe enough to breathe." Not safe because every question has been answered. Not safe because the whole future is guaranteed. Not safe because the problem has vanished. Safe enough to breathe right now. That is all the body needs for this first step. Worry often demands total certainty before it allows rest. But the body can begin with one breath, one longer exhale, one hand on the heart, one reminder that you are here and you are not leaving yourself. For these first 5 minutes, do not argue with your thoughts. Do not try to solve everything. Simply come back to the body. If the mind says, "But what about tomorrow?" return to the exhale. If the mind says, "But what if this goes wrong?" return to the hand on the heart. If the mind says, "You must think about this now," Return to the contact of your body with the chair or bed. You are not ignoring life. You are helping your body become safe enough to respond to life wisely. From minutes 5 to 10, name the worry. You may write it down or speak it softly. Ask, what am I worried about? Let the answer be simple and honest. I am worried about money. I am worried about this relationship. I am worried about work. I am worried about my health. I am worried that I will fail. I am worried that I am not enough. Do not judge the answer. The act of naming is already a return to power. Then ask, what kind of worry is this? Is it practical worry? Rehearsal worry? Identity worry? Practical worry is connected to a real step. Perhaps something needs to be paid, planned, scheduled, organized, sent, repaired, or discussed. Rehearsal worry is the mind making a disaster movie. It says, what if everything collapses, but gives you no useful step? Identity worry is the deeper wound. It says, this problem means I am a failure. This silence means I am unlovable. This mistake means I always ruin things. When you separate the kind of worry, the worry becomes smaller. It becomes workable. Say softly, when I name the worry, I begin to take back my power. Naming does not remove responsibility. It gives responsibility a clear shape. You are no longer drowning in a cloud. You are looking at the cloud and saying, what are you made of? Sometimes it is made of a task. Sometimes it is made of fear. Sometimes it is made of an old belief. Each one needs a different kind of care. From minutes 10 to 15, begin the mental house cleaning. Write 3 old sentences that are hurting you. Do not censor them. Do not make them sound better than they are. If the mind says, everything will fall apart, write that. If it says, I am not capable, write that. If it says, I will be abandoned, write that. If it says, there is no way out, write that. These are the old papers on the floor of the mental room. We are not writing them to worship them. We are writing them to clear them. Then, one by one, rewrite them. Not with forced positivity, but with a more loving truth. Everything will fall apart, may become. There may be a better outcome than I can see now. I am not capable, may become. I can learn what I need to learn. I will be abandoned, may become. I am here for myself. I do not abandon me. There is no way out, may become. I am willing to see one next step. I always fail, may become. I am learning through every experience. This is how you plant flowers after clearing the room. You are not lying to yourself. You are no longer using your thoughts as weapons. You are choosing thoughts that make healing possible. The mind may not believe them fully at first. That is all right. A new thought often feels unfamiliar before it feels natural. You are not trying to win an argument with fear. You are building a new road. From minutes 15 to 20, comfort the part that is afraid. This is very important, dear one. Many people try to think their way out of worry, but worry often lives in the child part of the heart. A younger part of you may be afraid of being blamed, afraid of being left, afraid of doing something wrong, afraid of not being enough, afraid of not being able to handle life. This part does not need a lecture. It needs presence. Close your eyes if it feels safe. Imagine the frightened part of you. Maybe it looks like a child. Maybe it is just a feeling. Maybe it is a small tightness in the chest. Speak to it with tenderness. I know you are scared. You do not have to solve everything today. I am older now. I can take care of us. We can do one thing at a time. Let the words be slow. Let them be personal. Let them be the words you wish someone had spoken to you long ago. This is how the inner world begins to soften. Fear becomes louder when it feels alone. Fear becomes softer when it feels held. The inner child does not relax because you call them silly. The inner child relaxes because you come near and say, I am here. Your nervous system learns safety not only from logic, but from loving presence. It learns safety from tone, breath, touch, and repetition. If tears come in this part of the practice, let them come. Tears may be the body releasing what it has carried too long. If nothing happens, that is fine too. Do not force emotion, just offer presence. The deeper part of you is listening even if you do not feel a dramatic shift. Love given consistently becomes trust. From minutes 20 to 25, choose one practical action. After breathing, naming, clearing, and comforting, you are ready to ask, what is one real action I can take? Not 10 actions, not a perfect plan, one loving action. Worry loves to keep you in circles. Action brings you back to the ground. Ask, what is the smallest, useful thing? Do you need to send one email? Make one phone call? Write one list? Open one document? Pay one bill? Ask for help? Drink water? Rest? Stop checking the phone? Put the task into the calendar? Take a short walk? Tell the truth? Say, one loving action is enough for now. This sentence protects you from overwhelm. The worried mind often says, if I cannot solve everything, there is no point. But healing says, one step matters. One clear step is better than 1 hour of mental spinning. One honest action is better than 10 imagined disasters. One loving choice tells the body, we are not helpless. We can participate. Remember, the loving action may not always be productive in the usual way. Sometimes the loving action is closing your eyes for 10 minutes because your body is exhausted. Sometimes it is eating. Sometimes it is stepping outside. Sometimes it is not sending the message until you are calmer. Sometimes it is writing the truth in your journal instead of pouring fear into someone else. Sometimes it is saying no. Sometimes it is saying, I need support. Sometimes it is doing the small task you have been avoiding. Let love decide, not panic. From minutes 25 to 30, install peace with affirmations. Read them slowly. Let them become breath. You are not performing. You are planting. You are letting the inner room smell like flowers again. I release the habit of worrying. I am safe in this moment. I do not need to suffer before anything happens. My mind is learning peace. I can handle life one breath at a time. I choose responsible action over endless worry. I forgive myself, my past, and my imagined future. Life supports me as I return to peace. All is well in my world. Pause after each one. Let the body respond. If one sentence feels difficult, soften around it. You do not have to believe perfectly. You only have to be willing. Willingness is a sacred beginning. Say, my mind is learning peace, not my mind must be peaceful right now. Learning. That word is kind. It gives you room to practice. Say, I can handle life one breath at a time, not one lifetime at a time. Not every possible disaster at once. One breath, one choice, one moment. Now let us carry this peace into the day with 5 simple sentences. When you worry about the future, say, I meet tomorrow when tomorrow comes. This reminds you not to live tomorrow's possible pain today. Tomorrow will bring its own information, its own support, its own breath. You do not need to arrive there early through fear. When you begin to blame yourself, say, I am learning. I do not punish myself for being human. Let this sentence be a balm. You are not a machine. You are a person learning how to live, love, choose, heal, and begin again. Punishment does not make learning deeper. Love does. When you panic about money, say, I choose one clear financial step today. Not shame, not avoidance, not endless fear. One clear step. Look at the number, write the plan, pay what you can. Ask what is needed. Learn one skill. Create one small opening. Clarity is kinder than panic. When you fear rejection, say, my worth is not decided by one person's response. A message, a silence, a delay, a no, a misunderstanding. These may affect your emotions, but they do not define your value. Your worth lives deeper than another person's mood, timing, or capacity to love you well. When you do not know what to do, say, I pause, I breathe, and the next right step appears. This is such a peaceful instruction. The next step often does not appear while the mind is shouting. It appears when there is a little space. A pause is not a failure. A pause may be the place where wisdom enters. And now, dear one, let us bring the whole practice home. Peace is not the absence of problems. Peace is knowing that you can return. Peace is knowing that worry may visit, but it does not own the house. Peace is knowing that fear may speak, but love can answer. Peace is knowing that some worries need action, some need truth, some need comfort, and some only need you to stop believing every dark movie your mind creates. Worry is not your enemy. It is a signal. Sometimes it is asking for a practical step. Sometimes it is asking you to separate a real task from an imagined disaster. Sometimes it is asking you to heal an old identity that says you are not enough. Sometimes it is asking for the frightened child within to be held. Sometimes it is simply asking you to come back to your body and breathe. You do not need to fight your worry. You can listen. You can comfort. You can clean the mental room. You can plant a new thought. You can forgive the future. You can choose one loving action. You can return to peace, not because everything is solved, but because you have remembered how to be with yourself. Carry these words with you. I do not have to worry to prove that I care. I can care deeply and still be at peace. I can take action without fear leading me. Let them become a new agreement inside you. You are allowed to care without suffering in advance. You are allowed to act without panic. You are allowed to be responsible and gentle at the same time. My dear, you are not failing because worry visits you. You are healing because you are learning to respond differently. Every time you place a hand on your heart instead of attacking yourself, you are healing. Every time you name the worry instead of becoming it, you are healing. Every time you write down the old thought and choose a kinder one, you are healing. Every time you comfort the child within, you are healing. Every time you take one loving action instead of spinning in fear, you are healing. Every time you forgive your imagined future self and promise to meet yourself with love, you are healing. So breathe now. Let the shoulders soften. Let the jaw loosen. Let the hands open. You do not have to solve everything today. You do not have to suffer before anything happens. You do not have to earn peace by worrying enough. Peace is not a reward you receive after controlling every detail. Peace is a place you can return to, one breath, one truth, one loving choice at a time. All is well in this moment. You are here. You are breathing. You are learning a new way. Your mind is learning peace. Your body is learning safety. Your heart is learning that it does not have to be abandoned when fear appears. Life supports you as you return to peace. And with one breath, one kind sentence, and one loving action, you begin again.